underwater.
Can't let you go now.
Making it so hard.
You got to know now.
Ooh, taking it too far.
Nothing to hold now.
I'm falling apart.
Out in the cold now.
Breathing underwater. Breathing underwater now. I can't let go.
Underwater.
started to fall, and where were you? How could I know you were falling too? Grabbing the wind, cutting my skin, but it's hard because I'm falling. Tell me why I'm falling. Oh, life's calling, but it's hard because I'm falling. Falling, falling, falling.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another week. Hope you all enjoyed this little break. I know me and Bagels did. We were partying up for his birthday last week. Had some good times. Lost a lot of money at the casino. Don't gamble, kids. Just as a side note, but we are back now after a whirlwind. And how are you doing, Bagels? How are you feeling today?
You know, it's getting awfully hot down by us. Other than that, I'm doing pretty good. We did have a good week, but I think it's time to find out who else had a good week. I think you got some information for us.
Indeed, and we have been waiting an extra week for these results. We've got the players of the week from not last week, but the week before. Obviously, a little bit delayed, but we will get through these a little bit quickly as we are running a little bit behind schedule. Heading into the Titan League here, it's no surprise to absolutely anyone, but the player of the week will be Luka, sitting there at 659 score per game, 2.14 goals per game, and 2.71 saves per game. I mean, this man is just consistently a menace.
That is a lot of that. That is a lot of points per game. 659. I mean, that's pretty crazy right there.
And at the Titan level, even that much more impressive. But like I said, moving on ahead, we will sprint through this. Coming in for our rival, also in a very impressively high score per game, both Titan and rival. Usually the leagues that don't have such high score per game, even for player of the week. But we will have Crippist coming out with an even 647 score per game, 1.6 goals, and 1.1 saves, sitting over there in the rival league.
Yeah, I guess not much crit mauled in week number 2 there, but maybe for opposing players, maybe we'll have some unfortunate moments this week. But yeah, I mean, congratulations to Crippist.
And with another member of the Fruit Ninjas org making into player of the week, coming in at the Papayas, who my team faced up against and did lose to. They're an excellent team, and this player especially popped off in that week. Q will be our player of the week for the Challenger League, sitting at 487 score per game, 1.1 goals, and 2.5 saves. So very impressive on the defense in that regards.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest, I wasn't paying attention. But you did say another player from the Fernandez Q. I mean, that is some good stats there. 1.12 goals per game. 2.5 saves per game. That's actually pretty crazy. I mean, Luka pulled up some insane saves as well at 2.71, so the only one to outshine him. But either way, I mean, looking at all these guys, I mean, you could definitely see why they won Players of the Week, but we'll move on to Prospect.
And for Prospect, another similar score per game is Kenji SK will be the Prospect Player of the Week. Sitting there at 468 SPM, 1.4 goals per game, and actually he has 1.43 goals per game and also 1.43 saves per game. So this man likes to have parallel statistics, it would seem. That I feel like that's not something you see very often.
Yeah, I mean, if you have not that many games played, perhaps, I'm not sure, but to have exact stats for 2 games in a row, assuming he had 2 games in a row, which I feel like he had to have if he got Player of the Week. Usually we don't give Player of the Week to a player that only played 1 series. But yeah, that's 1.43,
Yeah, if I was choosing,
you'll have to see it.
I might choose Player of the Week just for that interesting little statistic. But heading into our last league, Novice League, they had the lowest score per game, but made up for it with some goals and saves. Is a Chad coming through with 398, almost 400. If you round up, it's basically there. Score per game, 1.38 goals per game, and 1.1 saves per game, rounding it out. And that will be our final Player of the Week. Those roles will be handed out shortly. Go congratulate those guys if you haven't already. But yeah, those will be our players of the week. Now, putting that behind us a couple weeks ago, a lot of things can change in the short span of a week. Some people keep grinding, some teams don't really play much at all together. With that said, we do have a Titan level matchup here, Bagels, and you want to give us a little bit of insight into what we're seeing here?
Well, there is a slight caveat that this, you would think that it's a Titan matchup, but I've since been given information, along with being in the lobby, that the only Titan player on the Dragons team for this will be Luxury, as they're going to be playing with Mayo and Teshega on the Dragons side. And the Dragons, they're already 0-4, and, as a roster, I kind of like their roster. They got Burr and Luxury there. I'm trying to remember who exactly the other third is on that roster. I'll have that ready for you in a second. But it's a team that I'm not expecting to be 0-4, yet they are, and there must just be some scheduling issues. And they also have Wise. So Burr, Wise, and Luxury. That's not a bad team, but yet they find themselves at the bottom at 0-4 there. And again, presumably, unless another replacement player comes in midway through the series, that they will be using more subs again and likely go 0-5 against this Spartans team, who is miraculously at a 3-1 record despite having Dank on the team. And Dank is not widely regarded to be a great player at all. No offense to him, but he finds himself at 3-1 for the team record. So some anomalies on both sides, I will say.
And not exactly a regular 3-1, as the Spartans lost their first game of the season and have gone undefeated since then to go on and win 3 games in a row, looking to get their 4th here. And like you mentioned, I actually wasn't able to find much information. Most of the members of the Spartans roster are new to the league, while the Spartans in general are a brand new team to the Nemesis League as a whole. This is their first season ever, so overall the Spartans are 3-1. So this team, we haven't really had the chance to see much from them, but they're putting up some good results. And you really, even though we don't really know what they're bringing to the table yet, obviously we have to give them the edge here, as they are playing against some rival players. But we've had weird things happen before. In just the last bout of matches, there was a novice player who won in the Titan League series. So anything can happen, Bagels. Anything can happen.
That is absolutely true. And I guess if there was a team to pull off an upset against, it would be Dank. But then again, like you said, we haven't seen anything really from these other 2 players here who are new to the league, and like you said, a new team as well. And in fact, neither of these teams have faced each other historically, because this is a new org. And looking at the power rankings heading into this week, they are sitting at number 6, the Spartans are. 1 spot ahead my team in the Grandmasters, so not quite sure what the power rankers are thinking there. The Spartans are better than the Grandmasters. We'll have to see who, if we can take a dub later on today, because I think this should be a surefire win for them. But perhaps not a sweep, but I do think the Spartans will take this one as... I was going to say we are waiting for them to get in the lobby, but they have finally joined 2 minutes shy of the deadline. So we should be getting this one underway shortly. But yeah, I mean, the Spartans, there's kind of been a lot of surprises around the Titan League. The Spartans, Bananas, are both teams that have new players, but have gotten on to have really good records here. So, we'll have to wait and see what the rest of the season holds for them. But I guess I think I know your answer, Merely, but prediction heading into this one?
Yeah, it's hard to predict anything other than a sweep. You know what, though? I think I'm going to give 1 game. I think the Dragons have it in them to take at least 1 game. I think the key component for them, if they are playing the assumedly much more solid roster of the Spartans here, I think they have to try to create chaos. We've seen it before. If you just throw a bunch of wrenches everywhere, some might hit your own team, but if you can just try to confuse the other team enough, you might be able to weasel your way out of at least 1 victory there. But I definitely think it's going to be tough for them to stand up against this roster.
That being said, it looks like the Spartans are going to be using a sub of their own because they have Vulcan on the other side. And I believe Mr. S is also a sub, as the one Titan on the roster, it looks like, will get the first goal. So perhaps this match is not as predictable as we think it'll be.
So, I am extremely confused now because I don't have any idea who Mr. S is. I'm pretty sure Vulcan is a rival player as well, like you mentioned. But this, I'm going to assume that Mr. S is a Titan League FA, and I'm actually going to double check my work after concluding my statement. Hopefully, I didn't not spread any fake news. But either way, if Mr. S does happen to be on their rival team, then we're pretty much just watching a rival matchup here. And now that changes things quite a bit. All right,
I remember now.
Inform us, please.
Temp. That is actually Temp. Mr. S. I forgot he changed his name. And the only reason I knew that is because he was on my friends list. So that is actually Temp. That is because his first name starts with an S. The Salahi.
And Temp is a Titan League player, correct?
Yes, absolutely. Former Reapers teammate of mine, where we almost made it to grand finals, so he should be very capable in this matchup. That being said, Vulcan is indeed a rival player, and the man we were just talking about will score, and Spartans find themselves up 2-0.
And already it's kind of looking like smooth sailing for Spartans. I have spent the first half of this match distracted by figuring out what was going on with the rosters. But now that things have settled and the dust has cleared, it still seems that the Spartans maintain a pretty advantageous position in terms of rank disparity. As, you know, Vulcan is one rival player, but it's much easier to fill in one rival player with two coordinated, and if I remember correctly, Temp was not only a Titan player, but being on the Reapers, he was quite a good Titan player as well. Fitting in with Shyland here, who we've already seen pop off. I mean, it looks like they definitely have a huge edge in chemistry and speed of play so far.
Yeah, well, I do think both of them will be capable, and Vulcan definitely, he's made playoffs a few times as well, so I think they definitely have the advantage heading into this one. But it does look like Temp is a free agent sub-in, most likely, because he's not on the roster, so definitely a free agent sub-in. But either way, I think he will do a good part here. And again, I was going to kind of finish up the confusion with the rosters, as that's now taken just over 2.5 minutes to kind of figure out what the hell is going on. As the defense of the Dragons doesn't know what's going on, and they find themselves down 3-0, and they have no shots on the board.
You know, you could definitely sense a little bit of awkwardness in defense in the first two goals and the first half of this game before that misplay, but it became quite evident that there is some large issues at play here, as Tashega, as I say that, their defense has not been top tier, but they will get it back, and a nice shot will bring them within 2 at least.
Yeah, a lot of space just being given by Sheelan there. I don't know how to pronounce that actually. Sheelan. We'll go Sheelan. Is that Sheelan's ult? Did Sheelan get the Titan?
Maybe he did.
Oh, that'd be awfully impressive. I doubt it, but he just took a little bit too much time there in the corner, and that allowed the shot to come through. And you know, Tashega, very capable player. I consider him to be the best rival player the past few seasons, and I think he'll be able to succeed a little bit in this matchup, despite the cards being laid against him, as the Dragons are looking to try and get back into this one. Ball dumped out into the corner, but quickly going to be advanced on the other side by the Spartans. But then again, the ping pong coming into play, and pass to the middle. Here's Mayo for the shot. Shot on the bump comes out, and Mayo will collect the goal. Not the best shot, but the bump did come through.
And that was a huge bump, and trust in the teammate. Shyland really didn't get the best clear. Vulcan was in a great place to save it, but Tashega just comes barreling through, taking him out of the way. And now, only a 1-goal difference. You know, now that this roster has sort of settled down, figured out how to get the ball into the offensive half, they look a lot more comfortable when they are not stuck in their defensive.
Yeah, and I have been given word from free agent Bubba there in chat that it is Sheelan, I believe. Or Shillin. No, it might be Shillin. It really just depends on how you pronounce the word shit. So, listen. That's just the information he gave me in chat. So I'm just rolling with that. As chaos is erupting around the field. Mayo looking to put a shot on, and he will. Vulcan will send this away to the corner. But Luxury gonna have this ball slip past him for now. Mayo, good clear out, but Vulcan gonna shut it down to the middle, over to Temp. We'll get demos, and that's a big factor of Temp's playstyle as well. He likes to go for a lot of demos. He did that a lot on Reapers. Is Shillin with a shot, but quickly saved away by Tashega, and the Dragons, they find themselves down with one goal here, and they got a few seconds left.
And now with time ticking, they've looked much better, but they have to try and find some sort of pop-off here in the last few seconds as Mr. S trying to keep this one close. It's a huge beat, and Luxury might be there for the shot. It's just behind Shylin, but he barely makes a touch. This ball will drop. The Spartans, after looking comfortable in the first half, kind of gave up that edge, allowed the Dragons to come back, but they will maintain victorious. Although, you know, from the start of the game, I do like what we're seeing a lot more here now, Bagels.
Yeah, I mean, that was definitely a good... After finding themselves down 3-0 with over halftime, Dragons really came back into that one. But at the same time, Spartans were kind of giving them a little bit more space, so I don't know if that was Spartans playing a little bit more hesitant or Dragons kind of starting to warm up. I'd venture Dragons starting to warm up a little bit there, as they did start to look better. But unfortunately, Luxury in the final seconds there, it looked like he had a pretty quality opportunity, but he just rushed the shot. He kind of had the right idea to double jump pop that, but just needed an extra second of time to kind of get a little bit shot, or maybe put it on the left side. But either way, an opportunity got arrived. But, you know, I'm looking a little hopeful headed into game 2 here.
Yeah, you know what? And the more I look at this Dragons roster, the more I think, you know, you think about it's 2 rival players, 1 Titan, but Luxury is no ordinary Titan player, and Mayo and Tashega are not really ordinary Rival League players. I think they both have exceptional mechanics for their ranks. And they really do seem to have an ability to step up when it calls upon them. They just have to use their speed and try to not make these silly kind of mistakes that got them scored on. I mean, we won't talk about Mayo's mishap in the last one too much, as already Spartans off to another hot start, and this is not what you want to see if you're rooting for the Dragons.
Yeah, and again, I mean, I think you may have cursed him right there. You were just talking about how you didn't want to talk about Mayo's mistake, but he made another blatant one there, rotating into the corner and just allowing too much space, and the shot just ultimately goes through. But yeah, I mean, Mayo and Tashega are probably 2 of the best rivals in the Rival League. And, you know, if they're gonna pull off the upset, that would be the 2 players to do it. But again, they find themselves under the gun here in the opening seconds. Vulcan gets a solid clear. Mayo gonna look to bang this one, but Temp cutting it off early to the middle for Shillin. Dumped now into the corner, but quickly gonna beat out Luxury and looking for that double tap, and he will find it. He had 9 boosts left in the tank, but he didn't need to use it.
And that just shows how important that first touch is. Shillin getting it perfectly off the ceiling, and you could kind of tell as soon as he had off the ceiling, he could read exactly where it was going, and he didn't even have to do anything. It was so good, he just gets it off the backboard, taps it in lightly, and Spartans now looking even more confident here on the Dragons to try and step up and really come through the low 50. And Mr. S just already 50 seconds gone, and, you know, a little bit of hope evaporating as well for the Dragons.
Yeah, I mean, they almost came back with a 3-0 lead with less time, so, I mean, they got more time to work with here, but definitely 50 seconds in, 3 goals, and the nature of how those goals have been scored is not looking pretty for the Dragons at the moment. And, you know, that was another factor of Mr. S's playstyle as well when he was on the Reapers, is he had that, almost similar to Bubbly, is he's got a really good ground game, he's got the really good dribbles and the demos, and he's got the mechanics as well, so kind of an all-around player, just as long as his rotation is in check. And looking to see him go onto a solid team, assuming he gets picked up here sometime this week or the next, as now Schillen receiving a pass, looking for the top left corner, but Mayo will get a good save to keep the Dragons in this one, and they will quickly counterattack on the transition. And, this is very similar to how the last game went.
Yeah, so far it's pretty much the same script. And a nice counterattack, a little bit of lackluster defense there, just kind of careless from the Spartans to allow that simple pass play to work out, but it was effective. And, similar to last game, I want to say I think those mistakes were much more obvious when the Spartans gave back the goals, but we've seen that they can be prone to make these simple mistakes. And if the Dragons capitalize like they did on that play, they have plenty of time to make something happen, as long as they stay cool, calm, collected, and just kind of wait out. Because like I said, we have seen the Spartans are making some of these kind of simple mistakes, allowing opportunities. As what a save from Luxury. The Dragons defense stepping up finally, it seems.
Yeah, as a calculated fake almost coming out, but the save quickly followed up shortly after. And yeah, that was a great save by Luxury to keep his team in the game, although quickly off the corner, Teixeira with a slight pop. I was expecting him to half volley that down the field, but Luxury, quick touch, beats out two. Teixeira looking for the bump or the dribble. Got a little bit of a 50 and ended up bumping Schillen, but for some reason the net is open, and I thought he may have taken that a little too high, but Vulcan actually going to get the goal steal.
I'm struggling to kind of see what happened here. I was watching Mr. S's perspective, and I saw him cut for the ball, which looked like an easy possession, and then he turned around and there was just no one in the net. I'm not sure if that was a clean overcommit by the offense of the Dragons, but either way, especially after such an incredible save, do you hate to see the defense completely fall apart like that? That's going to make their job that much harder trying to come back in this game.
Yeah, and a demo did come out, but it looked like all three players were kind of past the midline anyway, so definitely an overcommit either way. Who knows exactly where and when that demo took place, but either way, ended up producing as a factor of that goal. But still 2 minutes for the Dragons to try and work their way back into this. They got 3 shots, which isn't terribly far behind the Spartans' 7. Although a redirect coming out and a quick passing play. You love to see the small ball passing plays. And okay, maybe this isn't going the way of game 1. This is domination.
Yeah, they took the script and they crossed out the part where the Dragons, even get a chance to come back. Pulling up with some great plays now, and it looks like the team chemistry is finally starting to come together as they're making these plays happen, and they're not easy to deal with if you're the Dragons, but the Spartans are also just taking advantage of these small mistakes by the Dragons, poking holes in their defense and flying through. Now 5-1, looking pretty convincing for the Spartans here, unless the Dragons can pull off something miraculous.
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely going the favor of the Spartans' way. The Luxury perhaps looking to get some momentum, but a huge dunk. Vulcan already up with perhaps the calculated fake. Schillen with the flip reset, fakes out the last 2 defenders. They were both chomping at the bit for that first shot, but he waited very patiently.
And the flip reset catch gets both defenders to jump, as I think they expected a shot or air dribble or something quick there, but the slow play weaves its way right through both of them. Now this game is surely out of reach for the Dragons. They just have to try and focus on the next game and what they can try to change. They have to try and just kind of forget about this one. A 6-1 loss, not something you really want to keep, even though you will be thinking about in the back of your mind. You have to try to happen and just forget it ever happened and come out swinging. But it's going to be hard when the Spartans are playing this confident now. You expect they'll continue in Game 3, and now I guess the Dragons just have to try to use that overconfidence against them.
Looks like it will not be a 6-1, and it will be the Brazil coming out. But yeah, I mean, I think they've kind of been trying to be too aggressive this game. Like you mentioned, it seems like the way to beat them is to try and let the Spartans overcommit and make mistakes, but at the same time, you don't want to give them too much space, because you saw Schillen with the fake reset there and waited to use his flip, and he also got the double tap off the sidewall. And I mean, the demos are coming out from Mr. S, and even Vulcan, he's he's getting the touches he needs. He's not doing anything spectacular, but even he was going up for a redirect, and the defense was respecting him. And when he ended up whiffing that ball, that allowed Schillen a lot of space. So it's kind of this dichotomy between allowing them too much space and trying to be aggressive, but the aggression has not worked this game nearly how they were looking for, because a 2-3 loss game 1 quickly turned into a Brazil game 2.
Yeah, and that's not the result you want to see at all. Failing the balancing act spectacularly, unfortunately, it seemed the Spartans also didn't make as many mistakes in this game. You know, the first one, they gave up 1 goal just from a slow challenge. Another one because Schillen literally centered the ball for the Dragons. And the Dragons, without those freebies, struggling to really put anything together, struggling to find a way through. But they are still getting shots off, which, you know, is at least one sign of life. They have they had 5 shots total in this game, still 4 less than the Spartans. But at a 1-7 goal differential, you know, it could be a lot worse.
Yeah, I mean, and the Spartans only coming up with 3 saves, so one of their shots just missed the mark, and depending on when or not that shot was placed, if it was earlier on in the game, could have been a closer score line. But, I mean, if it was later on in the game, it wouldn't have really mattered because the game was definitely out of reach at that point. But, I mean, yeah, this is promising for the Spartans, because if this is what Schillen can do, not necessarily that he's carrying, but he is kind of carrying with Mr. S and the free agent sub and Vulcan, the rival player, I'm definitely interested to see if we can get this team on stream again with their full roster up against a contending full roster, because this is kind of a walk in the park for them. But again, it kind of goes back to what I was saying with the Dragons earlier, is that I'm concerned as to why these players are consistently not showing up, and why I believe Biscuit hasn't really made a move on the roster to try and make sure that these teams are at least showing up to play without sub-ins.
Yeah, and that's a tough spot to be in. You know, they've had this game scheduled at least since yesterday, and Spartans already coming out hot here, getting the first goal once again. The last 3 games the Dragons, haven't even found a lead in the early moments. Hopefully they can try to stop this ball from rolling too far before it gets too heavy and it reaches the bottom of the hill, but not looking great so far.
Yeah, and that is the 3rd game in a row that they've been scored on in 15 seconds or less. So, I mean, on top of already being with the cards against them, hold on a second, did they just get rid of the rival player and sub in a prospect player? Is that how confident they are?
Wait, are you talking about 10-piece Nugget?
Yes.
No. 10-piece Nugget is actually their legitimate substitute.
Oh!
So he's 1738 on the sheets.
Oh, well, never mind. My apologies. I will say, that is a grade A name right there. I like that. No, I bet that's a guy who likes McDonald's Sprite, too.
Oh, I bet he loves that McDonald's. That crazy.
If his McDonald's order, if his McDonald's order is a 10-piece nugget with barbecue sauce and a Sprite and a large fry, then he's a man after my own heart.
We'll have to do a post-game interview. I think we'll have time for it, so maybe we can ask him about his McDonald's. Or maybe he's more of a Wendy's guy. I don't know. Do they have 10-piece nuggets?
No, you can't be a Wendy's nugget guy. I'm sorry.
Well, dude, Wendy's spicy nuggets, you know, I think they're pretty fire. But their spicy nuggets, in my opinion, definitely outdo the McDonald's ones. But the standard McDonald's ones are better than standard Wendy's. And as you can see, they're actually, you know, we're not talking much about the game right now, because it does kind of have this foreboding feeling like the series is well on its way to being a sweep. But with that said, the Dragons have kept this at... They scored. When?
Saying they haven't scored.
Oh, they haven't scored. Yeah. No, the Spartans have not been able to put in another one, which I think at this point in every other game they had 3 goals. And the Dragons almost getting one through here. The goal line saves coming out, and they just can't score, but they still haven't been scored on. Signs of life and signs of offense, but there it is. Schillen coming through, and yeah, it seemed inevitable.
That one just had to go in for the Dragons. I mean, they had to find a way to convert there. The defense was so awkward and they still couldn't sneak its way through. And the first transition out of defense for the Spartans, they end up scoring. And it's not a blowout, although there is 2.5 minutes left, so plenty of time for goals to be scored on the Spartan side of things. But it almost seems like 10-piece. Oh, hold on, as he gets an insane touch there, ends up balling out Mr. S as Luxury looking for the solo play. He will find it off the backboard. But again, they cannot convert off the shots. He barely misses the double tap, and now the net open on the other side. Schillen looking for the shot, but it is saved by Teixeira. And the few opportunities they do have, they're just not converting on the low. Surely, this one will hit its mark.
Okay.
And they are down by 1.
Okay, there we go. So the first time, they should have scored, but they overcommitted. Understandably so. There were some great saves from the Spartans there that led to the counterattack. But this time they overcommitted, just barely managed to get back, and then got a goal on the counter. So next time, I expect them to just score off the initial push. I want to see them come out. They've now figured, well, I don't want to say figured out, but they've gone multiple opportunities in a row on the goal line of the Spartans. They just need to put them home, and what a save from Mr. S. The Dragons are giving it all they got. The Dragons could be slightly more accurate, but the Spartans are also putting up a wicked defensive performance.
I don't know if it's like the Alamo, this is the last stand, but I mean the Dragons have really picked it up in this game. They're actually out shooting the Spartans at a 7-6 clip there. And maybe it's the fact that our boy 10-piece Nugget isn't warmed up. Maybe that's affecting things a little bit. But the Dragons look really good right now. But I mean, that might be, at the moment, at least on stream, that might be a save of the season so far from Mr. S right there. That was an insane way to avoid this game from being tied up.
Absolutely, and now actually they're going to have an opportunity to put in. The Luxury rushes the shot. He could have tapped the ball middle. He could have waited just a second longer, and it would have been a tie game.
He could have waited more than a second.
The nerves.
There was nobody.
Equalize. The Dragons, they have to be kind of kicking themselves after that one. Oh man, that was tough to watch.
He just had so much time, but here's Mayo, and he slots it perfectly on the right side. I mean, this is what we're talking about. I mean, Teixeira and Mayo have really been stepping up, and even Luxury's been stepping up huge in this game 3. Luxury looking a little quiet in games 1 and 2, but he's popped off with some big air dribbles, but the rival player's doing the dirty work on that play right there.
And, the Spartans roster, it's weird to say, but it feels like they aren't really syncing up as well with this addition of the sub. Granted, like you said, might just be some issues warming up or just hopping in the middle of the series. It is kind of curious to me. It feels like the Spartans were very, very confident about their ability to win this series. So maybe they just wanted to get some practice time with their sub in case that comes into play later. But still, you gotta say, it felt like with Vulcan, this team was playing a lot stronger for whatever reason that was due to.
I mean, I think it might be because he's a Wendy's Nugget guy. I'll be honest. that might be it. But yeah, I mean, either way, something changed. But I mean, on paper, 10 out of 10 times you make this move to put your sub in on the actual roster. But something's gone awry here. And for the Dragons, they got 14 shots, right? Or excuse me, bad at math, 12 shots to the 7 on the Spartan side, but still, find themselves all tied up in the overtime here. But honestly, the way of this series is leaning towards the Dragons' favor. Although that being said, in the 2-1, Luxury finds himself, and he will get scored on the left side. And, you don't want to be in a 2v1 with the 2 Titan players on the team. Well, actually, it's a full Titan roster at this point.
Unless he's a Wendy's Nugget guy.
Unless he's a Wendy's Nugget guy, which if he is, that is no longer a grade A name. It has to be McDonald's Nuggets. I mean, maybe Chick-fil-A Nuggets. That's a pass, but honestly, they're not that good because the people just douse them in the sauce with the. I don't even know what that sauce is, but it's
good.
That's chemical warfare right there. I ain't about it.
What do you think all fast food? Okay, I'm not about to get into the semantics of fast food sauces with you. Although we could talk about this for a while longer. We are now ahead of schedule, so we have time. But you know what? I don't want to get heated over that right now. So instead, we will end it with the Spartans closing out. No more antics. I am a little bit sad. It felt like, the Dragons had a lot of opportunities to to equalize and then maybe even take advantage after. During regulation, they really kept the heat on the Spartans and almost got that through with a couple of clutch saves from the Spartans coming out. But in the end, the Spartans, their confidence proved to be valid as they were able to complete the sweep. And I won't get my one game prediction, but I do think the Dragons put up a good fight. At least we did get a couple close games, barring game 2. The games were all very close, and now the Spartans will continue on their win streak.
Yeah, I mean, granted, it was a bit of a lackluster win coming out from them, but yeah, extending their win streak to 4 after dropping that first game in the season here, and looking to be an uncharacteristic contender in the Western Conference right there, because at the moment, really, it's just Vanguard, Grandmasters, and Gravity, and even Gravity, they don't have the best record, even though I'm expecting a team with Soars to be dominating a little bit there. But, Spartans might have something to say about that Pacific Division for getting that auto bid into the playoffs, avoiding the play-in tournament, or even avoiding being the 5-6 seed. So, going to be looking at Gravity and Spartans there. And now, Dragons will move to 0-5 with, honestly, like I said earlier, the roster on paper should be decent. Burr is just crazy. I mean, the value you're getting for Burr at 19-17, just mechanics alone, granted chemistry is a different issue. I mean, that's a really good value, and Wise is also a solid player, and Luxury at 1850 is also an insane value. So, I mean, if they just get the players to show up, surely they secure a win at some point, but 0-5 is not how you want to start the season.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if the no-shows are due to the poor record so far, or if the record is due to the no-shows, or a combining factor. But it's hard to imagine. Like you said, Burr is a fantastic player. Luxury, we even saw, he did his best in this matchup. It was obviously unbalanced from the start, but it's hard to imagine any team going 0-5 with Burr on the field, or 0-4 for that matter, as obviously he wasn't on this pitch. So it feels like there has to be some sort of scheduling thing there that falls on the responsibility of either the team captain or the general manager there to try and at least get players that can play, because putting it on the shoulders of the rivals, especially when you go on stream games, is quite tough for the players. And once again, like you said, great roster on paper, but if the paper is inaccurate, then, well, we're going to get some silly results.
Well, that indeed we will, but I think that's going to do it for the Titan matchup. But, I mean, that being said, coming up next, it's going to be the second go-around of battles between the orgs there. We just saw Dragons and Spartans. Obviously, Spartans ended up taking it into a sweep, but I think the next matchup should be a lot better. We got Hydra going off against the Knights, and assumingly, if both rosters show up, which Vulcan was there, so Vulcan should be there, and Biscuit should be there on the Hydra side of things. So, and Mayo and Tashega were just both playing in this matchup, so a bit of warm-up on both sides here. If they're both just seeing some Titan League action, Tashega, Mayo, and Vulcan should be looking to show their chops a little bit in that next matchup coming up.
Absolutely, and we will catch you in that matchup right after this short break. Take care, guys.
started to fall, and where were you? How could I know you were falling too? Grabbing the wind, cutting my skin, but it's hard because I'm falling. Tell me why I'm falling. Oh, life's calling, but it's hard because I'm falling.
Night, yeah. And you're completely right. Squintle is first man, and he's like, wow, you think you're going to take your sweet time? I don't think so. And just rushes at him. There's no way that one finds the back of the net. Vulcan is going to get another one.
Seems here Squintle just had a nice touch there. Vulcan just touches it down. Mayo missing that clear. Just not capitalizing on the touches there, as you can see.
Yeah, and that pretty much can never find the back of the net. I mean, now that you're down 3 goals, you really cannot afford to spend too much more of your time on your defensive half if you're Hydra. And I do want to see Biscuit kind of wake up and show us the dominance we've been seeing from him all season. As so far, Mayo may be at the top of the scoreboard, but he did let that one goal just slip right by him. So really a team effort as another whiff is going to come through from Mayo, as the nerves definitely playing a factor here. This is a big-time showdown for a team trying to stay undefeated, and Tashega racing back, gets in front of that one, and a nice clear will put Vulcan with a little bit of boost, enough to get out of the situation, but it is only right back to the defenders of Hydra in the midfield as Tashega to the backboard, looking for the double. Does get 2 to go. Mayo actually has a chance here to get to the midfield, but Vulcan will clean it up. And Crispy, I mean, this is not the direction you want to be seeing the ball going right now, down 3 if you're Hydra.
Indeed, as you can see, Hydra had a almost crazy passing play there. It's just Knights just decided to capitalize on the lack of pressure. Seabiscuit almost puts it towards net. Tashega is there. He puts it in to make it a 2-goal deficit.
And I absolutely love that goal explosion, dude. And you can see this shot is worthy of the goal explosion. He gets all the way around this ball. He uses the flip perfectly to slot it right in front of Squintle's face as he dives for it. And that's the road back. That is 1 of 3. And I don't know what you think they're gonna have to do, because that kind of just seems like a lapse in defense. If they're gonna have to force more of those, I don't know what you think is the game plan here for Hydra.
Seems like Hydra just needs to balance back. As you can see, the defense did peak a little bit there. Just needs to, I don't know, need to see a lot more offensive pressure here, I feel like, from Hydra.
I would have to agree with you there. As defense is not going to win this game at this point. It may win championships, but when you're down 3-1, you got to find some offense for yourself as Biscuit. Plenty of boost, tries to take it soft, stay in control, but Squintle is just going to ego challenge him. He's going to find the double. Squintle, nobody in his pass, is going to put it home.
I could say in the time that I haven't known Squintle, I've known him pretty well now. As you can see, got the mechanics there, the backboard reads. Interesting gameplay so far, Pepperoni.
I'd have to agree, and if you look at your screen there, you'll notice there's one player in your entire picture, and there's not a single defender from Hydra to be seen. I guess they all kind of expected Biscuit to beat out Squintle, but Squintle, that's having none of it. As Mayo is finally going to find the back of the net himself, and he's going to take that goal off the board.
Yeah, it seems like Knights here had a little awkward moment there. Nobody to defend. Just an awkward situation for him.
And I'm really happy that Mayo is able to get that with such little time coming off the clock since the last one. As Vulcan tries to put it back right, but Tashega will take care of it. Squintle beating out Tashega pretty soundly here, but Biscuit with a nice backboard rotation is going to clean it up. Vulcan trying to find a mid-pass, as nobody's there other than a defender who will get the ball going right in front of him, as it is just chaos right now. It seems like the Hydra cannot find a touch, as it is just free play right now for Knights. With time ticking away, they finally find their way onto the opponent's side of the field. And it is awkward in the air if a shot comes through, but it will not, as Squintle. Looks like nobody in the field has boost right now, so it's kind of awkward, but Mayo is going to get another goal for himself, and it is the winnable game now.
Seems like Knights here, a little awkward on the backboard. Mayo just putting it perfect right on the left side of the net. Nothing you can really do there.
Yeah, and that goal was coming from a mile away, as everybody was pretty much starved out on the Knights' defensive half, and it kind of just collapsed as Mayo puts it in the one spot that the opponent cannot reach it. As time ticks away here, 25 seconds to go. Tashega trying to find the equalizer, but Vulcan just up so early is going to cut that off before it even gets happening. And time is just ticking away, and Vulcan is just playing with it. Biscuit with 15 seconds left to go, trying to find a pass to Tashega. He has him. Tashega had an opportunity, but plays the slow game, and it will be collected by Squintle as time ticks away. He's just killing time. Back passes in a booming clear, but it does go right to Biscuit. Biscuit over to Tashega, trying to find it back to Biscuit, but Squintle will down it. And the Knights, maybe the underdog, they're looking very dominant in their game 1 win.
I was pretty excited for the reverse. Well, for the comeback there.
Yeah.
Would have been amazing overtime.
Yeah, and that's not exactly how I expected that first game to go. Hydra, I don't feel like they're known for coming out slow. I don't know if they sweep every single game they've played. I know they swept a few, but it seems like a lot of their series do kind of they take a little while to get going. So we'll see how it goes going into game 2. I do want to call on Biscuit to make it happen. 150 points is not exactly what you expect from him. He is kind of he's a big name guy, so we'll see what he can do going into this next game. But I'm really hoping we can have an even series as we head to game 3. We'll see how it goes.
As Tashiga says, so we replay game 1.
If only. I mean, I don't know what you think is the game plan here for Hydra, but they looked so lost in the first, 2 minutes. I feel like they dug their hole too deep to get out of.
Yeah, that 3-0 goal lead there, I feel like messed up with them mentally. Had opportunity to get back, just couldn't capitalize on time.
I mean, it was a kind of a promising finish, though, as they were finally starting to attack consistently and keep pressure. They just ran out of precious seconds as Vulcan doesn't get the touch he was hoping for, and the Biscuit's going to put off the backboard, looks for the bump. A well-placed shot would have been the icebreaker for game 2, but it does go high as Mayo tries to take it around, looking for Tashega, who backflips, but Sosa would have had him well beat anyway. Biscuit has a shot, puts it off the wall, and a very nice read by Vulcan is going to clear it all the way downfield. Mayo pops it over one, has the boost to work with, tries to 50 out Squintle, will read it very nicely. Tashega beats out another, and the Knights in a very vulnerable situation here. If the ball can get into the midfield, I feel like there's not much boost to work with, but nice clear by Vulcan. Will go right back to 2 people waiting for it. A double commit is probably the break that the Knights were waiting for, and another double commit comes through, and Vulcan with an easy double to get it downfield. As he has a one-on-one situation, looks for the bump, but it is off target. But either way, the Knights will breathe some air as they get off of defense here, Crispy, and try to move their offense.
Yeah, it seems like Vulcans have had a nice peak in defense, a little less aggressive on offense. Not sure what their plan is here. Seems like Hydra's showing off the mechanics a little bit more. Each team's just got to work on those weaknesses and come out on top. I feel like, you know.
And I have to agree is the passing plays have been something it seems like the Knights are looking for. A lot of times somebody passes it and nobody's there in the midfield to finish it off. That time they were, but they're on the wrong side of the field for that to work out as Biscuit is just racing downfield, pressuring Sosa to get it out. He will do a very nice job and hits, I think it's Vulcan on the sidewall, puts it mid, but Mayo is just waiting for it and dunks out Vulcan. And Sosa just has to collect this with no boost to work with. On the backboard is Biscuit looking for a pass mid. It is over the head of Mayo. And Vulcan is going to try to dunk it out and will do it nicely. Vulcan trying to get a bump to put it home anyway by himself, but will not be able to do it. Tashega looking for the pass mid. Has boost to work with, but decides to let his teammate have it. And so far, this game has been nothing like the last one, Crispy, as we are still waiting for that first goal of the game.
Indeed. Seems like Hydra's keeping the offense there. Knights are just keeping the defense going. Once one cracks, the other team will surely make a goal just to break that, get that icebreaker.
And Sosa had if he had a teammate there, that would have been a beautiful passing plays. He hit it a little wide, but either way, there was a goalie waiting on it. Squintle has a shot, puts it back post, which is well placed, but 2 defenders in net means it's probably not usually going to find much success as a demo from Vulcan, who is playing a very physical game. I'm loving what I'm seeing from Vulcan, as he's not just topping the scoreboard with points by a good margin. He is making his presence being felt in the places that are not recorded on the scoreboard. As a whip comes through by Squintle, and that does relieve a lot of the pressure. Tashega want to try to start the counterattack. Biscuit puts it off the backboard. Sosa is just waiting for a booming clear over to Vulcan. Vulcan tries to slot it home in a beautiful shot, and the passing play counterattack will find the back of the net for the Knights.
That backboard read from Sousa to Vulcan was astronomical. Tashiga was out of reach just by a tad bit, giving Knights the 1-goal lead here. I figured it had been Hydra getting the 1-goal lead at least.
Yeah, and Squintle takes this ball into the wrong side of the field if you're Hydra. This is not the way you need to be going. Is Mayo looking for the shot, and a crazy redirect comes through from Mayo, and he will equalize the game.
Yeah, nice clear by Biscuit there, popping it down. Mayo just there for the angle, getting it past 2 defenders. This is what Rival is all about.
That's the offensive firepower I was talking about from this team. They are so capable with the mechanics and the redirects. It is all in the bag. They just have to have the opportunity to bring it out as Biscuit with a slow bouncer will make Squintle use some boost at the very least. Mayo gets it past 1, and a whiff comes through. Tashega centering this ball. Mayo makes 2 people go. It is an open net right now. Tashega trying to find Biscuit, but Vulcan, along with 2 other defenders racing back, will clean it up. And Mayo has an opportunity as it kind of just stalled out for a second there. I mean, with an equalized game here, I kind of feel like everything we went through in the last minute from both these teams with really nice play shots just means nothing now as it comes down to this last minute, Crispy.
It seems like Mayo's got the ball there. Tries to put it on. Tashika almost gets it there. It's just been one crazy series, I feel like, for tonight's Rival matches. 2 teams known well for their offense and defense going at it. I wouldn't do anything else on my Monday night.
I'd have to agree with you. After a long weekend of work, it is nice to watch Sosa put in the maybe game-deciding goal as Knights trying to take a 2-0 lead in the series, and Tashega, little drop down. Not exactly the guy he was hoping would find the end of that, but either way, Sosa is going to give the Knights the lead and is once again on Hydra. They were able to equalize pretty quickly. Last time they lost the tie. We'll see if they can do the same here. As Biscuit with a banging read off the corner. Sosa gets it over to Tashega, has enough boost to get it around to the midfield, but a nice cutoff by Mayo. Tashega trying to race this one. Squintle in a very awkward situation, but Biscuit cannot find the touch. He once again finds himself on the lower end of the scoreboard, and we are just waiting for that pop-off Biscuit to come through as Mayo has the boost to work with. This is the opportunity, has 1 defender to beat, goes for the reset, is going to find the back of the net. It had to be Mayo, and he's going to make it happen.
As I said before, Mayo's well known for mechanics. As you can see, just so little boost, but was able to get that nutty shot against Sousa. This is the stuff that makes Hydra Hydra.
I would have to agree, and that is, I mean, it didn't take as long as the first time. I feel like the first time around, Mayo slotted it home very quickly, but they were making a sweat for a second there, but it will find the back of the net as we round the last 10 seconds down. Biscuit trying to get one before it goes to OT. That is a nice bounce off backboard. Tashega has an opportunity, is going to put it in the back of the net, and the defensive miss from the Knights is going to tie the series up.
It would have been such a banger for Knights to be able to get that 2-game lead, but it seems like Hydra came out on top, making it a tied series. We got an interesting series here for Pepperoni.
That was the team I was waiting to show up, and they just waited for like the last minute of the game to make it seem like I know what I'm talking about when I call them an offensive team. They've had their overcommits on defense for sure, but you can see when they have boost and room to work with, if you give them one-on-one situations, I think I'm taking Hydra every day of the week over every one of these players. I mean, even Vulcan with almost 500 points, he topped every scoreboard performance in that game, but an unfortunate whiff from the backboard by the Knights means that Hydra is going to take game 2, and they're going to make this series a little more interesting than it would have been, because I think 2-0 by Knights is a kind of sleeper, so we got a series on our hands now here, so Crispy.
Indeed, I see game 5 coming along actually, Pepperoni. Very interesting. His muffle.
Oh my gosh.
What's it in there?
I mean, Mayo kind of has to put those home. That was a free shot, and we've seen the shots he's hit already in this series, so you don't expect a miss in the open net. And Mayo off the ceiling, that is an open net for Tashega, and he's going to put it bar down, because is there any other way to do it for a mechanical beast like Tashega? 1-0 for Hydra.
I feel like Hydra's waking up now. Seems like Nice is just lacking on defense there a little bit too much for Hydra to make a move there. Nice just needs to buckle down on defense to make sure those shots aren't possible, as we've seen can be possible.
And all the double commits I've seen have been from Hydra, and that was the first really costly double commit by the Knights, and it means 2 people just fly across the net and nobody's able to make the clear. And I mean, Tashega has the easiest shot of his life and still put it bar down. That just shows you, I mean, if they can do that if they can hit them bar downs with a defender in net, I don't know if that defender is gonna be able to do much. As a 1-0 lead is kind of where we expect to find Hydra. I mean, 4-0 in the standings. This is not a team you expect to start very slow and you go down 0-2, and it almost happened. But if it weren't thanks for some really nice shots, this would be a very different series. But either way, Falcon trying to get some momentum back to the Knights. They just seem dead in the water right now after that really strong start in the first couple games. Tashega has boost to work with, trying to get around. He does fake out multiple people, but it is a group effort to get it cleared to the corner. Gwinto is going to reverse fields here, and a nice pinch over the back of Biscuit means this is going the other way. Squintle trying to find a redirect, and a shot from Sosa is going to find the top deck of the net, and we're tied up.
As you can see, Tashiga was in an awkward situation there. Squintle puts it on the wall. Mayo challenges a little too early, giving Sosa the opportunity to put it in net. Just very unfortunate event for Hydra, but very fortunate event for Knights.
Yeah, very nice kickoff here from Biscuit means this is an opportunity for a kickoff goal as they will make two people go, and Mayo has a shot on net, but Squintle does stay in control of his car and gets back to another ball. And a clear comes out, but it is right to the waiting arms of Mayo, and he's going to try to slide it top left, and another double commit comes through. We start to see a trend here as Squintle is going to clean up the pressure, and he puts a shot on target and a banger, and nobody from Hydra was ready for that, and a nice counterattack just from Squintle alone.
I'm gonna tell you, Pepperoni, even I wasn't ready for that. It seems like he just puts it right in the middle. A banger at 65 miles an hour, and nobody was even back to be able to save that.
Yeah, I think we're all just waiting for a Hydra player to come onto our screen and make the easy clear. And there's just nobody to be seen. They were also just preoccupied with that attack on offense. They were not ready for Squintle's very quick counterattack and just bangs it top deck. And a little pressure starting to mount, and you can see how quickly the Knights are dealing with any sort of pressure. Squintle with a pass from Vulcan. If he puts that in the top shelf, I don't think that's savable, but he will roll it to him, and there's a counterattack opportunity. Vulcan, another quick and easy clear. It seems like the offense is just not lasting very long. A double commit comes through. Open net. Sosa puts it off the backboard. Doesn't have 200 boost to be able to get back to that, so it will not be too dangerous as Hydra. They need to find this equalizer pretty soon, because it seems like every time they get on offense, it is counterattack immediately. And I'm starting to see a trend here, Crispy, and it's not a good one for Hydra.
Indeed, on offense or defense, they do tend to double commit. But
Go! Oh my gosh!
Vulcan
What a shot.
almost saved that, but sadly redirected it into his own net.
This is pain. But what we'll call it a good shot is that was on target, but Vulcan just couldn't get the pinch outwards. But I mean, I asked for an equalizer before it got dangerous, and they gave us that, Crispy.
Indeed, it's going to be an interesting game now, as it is tied up with 2 minutes left. Just got to see one team break down and see the other team succeed.
Yeah, and Biscuit, he has 38 points right now. He is not feeling himself in this series. He is one of the guys I look up to Biscuit as a player. He is so capable of just taking over a series. So if you're Hydra, if you can squeak these games out, just imagine this team when Biscuit is just all over the place making pop-off plays. Mayo puts it off the backboard for Tashega, and that does get another 2 defenders to go. And Biscuit trying to find a pass to Tashega. It was an open net, and I will say he tried to pass it and it was a miss, but either way, that has to be a goal for Hydra. And a huge bump from Sosa just says, get out of my way. That is not your ball. And Sosa is going to bang this downfield. And we need to see Hydra start to take control of their offensive plays here, because every time they find themselves on the Knight side, it is so easily cleaned up by an easy clear. They just take it out with ease. And a demo comes through. This does open up a lot of room, but Mayo will do his job as the third man. Squintle right to the waiting arms of Biscuit. But Tashega is first up to this. If he has the boost to work with, I don't think he's even going to try. He's going to play the safe game as the last minute rolls around here, Crispy. I don't know where you see this game going, but this is as intense as it's going to get.
To be honest, I don't even know. Seems Vulcan with the dribble there. Squintle is in position, but he doesn't want to go for it. Seems like each team, oh my, almost puts it in. Each team's just playing the safe game a little too safe, in my opinion.
Yeah, and just like 20 seconds earlier, Tashega I'm not sure if he had the boost to work with, but he had the reset and has decided just to go back down to the ground. So both teams playing very cautious. They know what's at stake here. This is a huge matchup for these teams. As Sashega gets, I don't even know if he got a touch there, but he does fake out one. Mayo puts it off the sidewall. That will be straight down to the ground as Squintle lets it go. And this is probably where you're going to decide this series more often than not, as the kickoff does go right to Vulcan's arms. Has a chance for the double tap. If he has the angle, he will not have it. A nice opportunity there, but not an easy shot nonetheless. And it will not be too dangerous now for Hydra. Vulcan just feels up to banging this ball downfield, allowing his team to get some boost. And it will pay off as the pressure does start to mount here. Shot for Squintle, just barely off target, ran out of boost. You have to think if he had about 5 more boosts, he's able to get around that ball a little more. And that is night for Hydra, maybe even in the series. But either way, they will stand tall in defense. As just 30 seconds into this OT, we've seen plenty of opportunities from the Knights. Now, Crispy, I want to see Hydra start to show us some of that offensive firepower, because you can just see right now it's just chaos.
Yeah, as you can see, Knights is putting on the pressure. Hydra kind of playing the safe game. We need to see Hydra putting it on us. She almost puts it on, but Squintle puts it up, saves it. Seems like Knights is just hammering down defense, like I was saying before. As you can see, both teams are putting it on the net, just can't finish it. Interesting series so far, Pepperoni. I'm happy I got to cast this one.
Yeah, and you can see Tashega by any means necessary, and Mayo, he is down for that way too, as it is getting dirty, as both teams really want this win. And if he can't keep offensive power or offensive possession for very long, just throw some demos in there. Just kill the guy that would normally be clearing that ball. And as Falcon is just on his nose, making his way downfield, it will somehow work out for a few seconds, but not before Mayo takes control of it. Mayo tries to find a redirect, and that would have been disgusting. Something that we do expect to see from Mayo. There's no way that finds the back of the net. The slowest shot ever is enough to take game 3 for the Hydra.
Oh my. Making it a 2-1 series. Volga with the unfortunate own goal. I did not expect it to go this way, Pepperoni. It is one crazy series so far.
And that was, if you turn your attention to the scoreboard, you had 2 people above 700 points for Hydra. And Biscuit is just the anchor right now with 180, and they're still able to get a win. And if you're the Knights, I mean, you got 3 players all playing their role. I mean, when you have 9 saves coming through, I mean, you're doing something wrong if you're spending that much time on defense. So, Knights, they gotta flip the script here, because this went from being a 2-0 series to that last game being stolen from them, and now they're facing down the barrel of taking a 3-1 L. And that is not what you want to do when you had an undefeated team in your grasp. So, Crispy, who's he going to have to be from the Knights to make the difference and bring us to Champions Field?
I feel Sousa's been playing pretty well all around. Squintle's been making some nutty touches. Vulcan, I feel like all around. I just feel like Hydra needs to drop down in their defense for Knights to be able to be a little bit more aggressive here. I could still see it either way. I see a game 5, honestly.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you on that one, because I was not convinced in the slightest about who was the better team in that last game. I feel like if you play 15 games of this series, you probably finish in an 8-7. This is how this is looking right now. But either way, we find ourselves into game 4, and kickoff goes very strongly towards Hydra. And Mayo trying to get a pass in midfield, but a very weird situation with the bounce off the wall. Means it will not be anything to worry about for the defense, as 2 people having to dive in front of that one, as neither one was ready for the shot. And a shot on target here, Mayo will clean it up. And this is such a tense series right now. Hydra trying to stay undefeated. They're so famous, at least Biscuit is, for this team, of having early undefeated sprees. And you would hate to see it end this quickly, but the Knights, they're giving a run for their money. And if you told me one of these teams is undefeated and the other is not, I don't think I'd be able to tell you who it is, Crispy.
I don't think I could tell you either, honestly.
As you can see Vulcan trying to take it across his net. That was dangerous. And a shot from Tashega off the backboard. If he has the double, it is open. And what a save by Sousa. He was the last man in the area for his team, and he will make it happen against 2 people. He's able to win the 50. Biscuit off the backboard. Mayo gets it around 2 people, but a bump from Sosa onto Mayo means he is out of the play. Tashega off the ceiling. Puts it off the ground, looking for the double into the back of the net. I don't even know what he just did, but it just threw everybody off on defense.
Seems like a touch stealing. Tried to get the ground pinch, but it still worked out for him. Squintle just back flipping. I haven't lost at words, Pepperoni. I don't even know how to describe that play there.
That was pain. That's how you describe that. If you're Squintle, you just got double tapped on the ground. Like, I don't know what that is. He saw that play coming from a mile away, but just didn't know how to handle it. That is not an often situation you find yourself in. As a bump comes through to Vulcan, but Squintle's got full control. But it does get shot right back into the midfield. Mayo 50s out Vulcan. Biscuit trying to find a pass mid, but Tashega understands he is the last man back, and that is probably not a very wise ball to go for, as he's going to 50 out 2 people into the midfield. Biscuit is just trying so hard to make an impact in the series, but he's not even playing poorly. It just seems like every time he goes for a shot, the way he's rotating, he's just met with an immediate challenge. As off the corner gets a pass, and a shot comes through with 3 people in the area, and it still almost finds the back of the net. Vulcan trying to take control off the ceiling, and a booming clear from Biscuit. Not even booming, but just enough to buy some time. Sosa with the reset. Tries to musty. I don't know if that was the situation to do it, but he was getting bored, so we'll let him have it. And Crispy, I cannot tell you if Hydra's gonna keep this as a 1-0 lead, because right now both teams are having plenty of opportunities on the other team's side.
I could audit. Well, it seems like Knights here is putting it on their side a little bit, as it goes straight back to Knights' side. Hydra. Mayo's on ceiling. Almost gets the read. Sosa with the touch. I don't know what to say, Pepperoni. I'm at a loss for words for this whole thing. It's Tashega makes it a 2-goal lead.
Tashega, bro. He's always the guy to do it for this team. Mayo has, I mean, he had the pop-off game 1 and 2, but now it is Tashega's show. I mean, he's got the 2 goals by himself. I mean, it's the 2-2-2 clock line, so you gotta put in your second goal, on target. It's the rule. As kickoff goes right to Squintle, but it is right to Mayo, who saw it coming all the way and clears it to the corner. Sosa tries to beat out one, but Mayo is just too fast and is running the lobby right now. It's a booming clear out of Mayo and a nice redirect by Tashega, but Sosa in an awkward situation. He had a lot more time than he realized, and he will just throw it downfield. Tashega has boost to work with, gets it around 1. He has Biscuit in the midfield, gets bumped out before he can get the flick over to him. Now 50 comes through. A bit of chaos right now for the Knights. No boost for Vulcan, but Tashega doesn't know that, and he will go right into Vulcan's hood, and he will 50 out Tashega. But with a minute and a half left to go pretty much here, it is now or never for the Knights. They're showing so much promise. I feel like they're always on the Hydra side of the field, but they're still scoreless here, Crispy.
Knights just need to buckle down. I'm seeing a lot of double commits, low boost, like they're not managing their boost very well.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
As they put one in, they contradict what I say. 1 goal down, a minute 20. There's still hope for Knights, Pepperoni. There's still hope.
Okay, chat. We don't talk about this. Nothing will be said to Biscuit about what just happened. Okay? He didn't see it. No clipping it. Okay?
About,
He's doing his best, and he wants a game 5. Okay? We stand for that. Okay? So 2-1 now. Knights, they were given a bit of a freebie. Biscuit trying to get it back for his team, but Squintle is just not having any of it. Doesn't have the same generosity as Biscuit did the other time around. Mayo tries. He does actually fake out one. If he gets to the midfield, Tashega is waiting, but a horrible mistouch and a very open goal means it will not be a 2-goal lead once again for Hydra as time ticks away. We are on the Hydra side of the field. This ball pinches right over to Sosa. Has boost to work with. Very awkward situation off the ceiling. He does his best to pass it down, but Vulcan, as third man, cannot risk that. But I mean, you have to say, at what point do you risk that? You're down a goal with 40 seconds. I think you have to take these risks. As Squintle tries to get it over 1. He does. Biscuit with the whiff. And a 50 comes through Mayo. Very clutch play. 30 seconds left to go here. Mayo finds the open net. And that might just be lights out for the night series.
It seems like it. Maybe Knights won't be able to make it that 4-1 and make Hydra 4-1. I was hoping for Knights. I was rooting for Knights. 30 seconds. 2-goal deficit. I'm still rooting for Knights.
Yeah, it is possible, and a good kickoff from Vulcan is definitely the way to go with that. As he will be called off and let Squintle have it, but Squintle is not going to find the touch, and 20 seconds left to go. You don't have time to waste 5 seconds off the clock with a mistouch. And after Shega gets it over one, and that is just going to roll its way right into the back of the net. No, it will not. It'll be off the post, but either way, Mayo is there to clean it up. And that is lights out for this series, and good night to Knights. It will fall to 3-2 in the season. And the Hydra, they will move on and stay undefeated here.
Making it 5-0. I think, is Hydra the only team undefeated so far, Pepperoni?
I think Distortion is undefeated as well. I'm actually not sure if there's more than just the two, but I mean, if you're Distortion, I think we all know who they were pulling for this series. As it is nice to be, hey, we're easily the #1 team. We're the only undefeated team here, and that will not be the case as Hydra, they stand tall, and Biscuit has 72 points as Vulcan gets one for the road. But I mean, imagine this team at full power. Biscuit is just not even participating. He's playing his role. He's not playing bad by any means. But it just seems like Tashega and Mayo just 2v3 the series.
As you can see, Sousa instant left. Looks like Swintle did too. They were not having it. They were not going to sit in that lobby. Hydra 5-0, Knights 3-2. What an amazing series, Pepperoni.
Yeah, and I am so impressed right now with the way Tashega and Mayo play together. They feel like they're such easy at linking up together in all these situations. Not a lot of rotational errors later in the series, but either way, I think we all kind of expected Hydra to be the favorite. Started a little rocky, but you have to say the series probably decided with that last second goal in game 2. So either way, that is all from me and Crispy. It was a fun series. Definitely wish it went to 5, but I'm happy with the result either way, as it was very entertaining. And Crispy, thanks for casting with me. What do you have before we let it go?
Woo, go Hydra. Go on the bandwagon.
I feel that. I mean, at what point is Hydra going to take their first L of the season? This is kind of every season now, and they're going to keep it going for now. As that is all for game 2 here. As our last match, we'll head over to the Novice League, and you do not want to miss it, because I do believe we have the Psycho on the call, so you don't want to miss that. It's going to be a hyped game, so don't go anywhere, guys.
started to fall. And where were you? How could I know you were falling too? Grabbing the wind, cutting my skin, but it's hard because I'm falling. Tell me why I'm falling. Oh, life's calling, but it's hard because I'm falling.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Nemesis Gaming League, where the grind continues. We are back for our third and final match of the night. We're taking it into the Challenger League. We have Hydra. No, I'm sorry. We just watched Hydra versus Knights. We have Flame versus the undefeated Papayas. Your boy Psychonautic in the booth, ready to bring you some of this action here tonight. And I am joined by a special guest, somebody I haven't had much chance to cast with, but he did poop all over me in our match together. Puggles, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. I wouldn't say we pooped all over you. It did go to 5.
True.
But I'm doing great. I'm really excited to get into this because, like you said, Papaya's undefeated. We just watched the undefeated Hydra team win their match to continue that. But Flame, they're no slouches. They are 3-1 right now, and unfortunately, without their highest MMR rated player, local. So it's going to be interesting to see how Flame is going to be able to adapt to that little thing that happened to local.
Yeah, I'm really interested to see it too. It doesn't seem to be holding them down so far, like you said, with a 3-1 record, and they haven't got to play with local a single match. So they're doing pretty good. But and also historically, these two teams, Papayas and Flame actually, they're really close. They've played about 11 matches, and Flames have the advantage by 1 match. They're 6-5 historically. So I know Flames are going to be looking to continue that history here and being able to beat the Papayas, also giving the Papayas their very first loss of the season here. But Puggles, you being a former Challenger player, who do you see anybody on this field who is a lookout player who we should be watching out for?
Yeah, absolutely. You got Isaac, who's on the Flame side. He's just an absolute standout player. He's currently their highest MMR rated that's going to be fielded today. So definitely look out for him. And on the other team, Papayas, I mean, they're just a 3-headed monster. You got to look out for all of them.
That's very true. That's very true. Oh my goodness. Almost as Scrap's going to take a shot on net, almost getting a goal straight out the gate. But also, let me hear. Oh, well, Fakey's going to go ahead and take out straight out the gate. And I was hoping to get your caster prediction before anybody scored. But go ahead and give us that and give us a little analysis here on that play.
Well, we'll break down the analysis first. So, an amazing read by Fakey to put it away in an open net. And you know what? I got to go with the undefeated team, Papayas. They got my boy Q on there, so I got to pick Q.
All right, there you go. You heard it here. Q looking for a step up on the Papayas. Mangoes and Scraps are his other 2 players. I'm not sure who the captain is, but all 3 of these players looking good so far. Flame up by 1. Barely over 30 seconds gone from the match so far. Isaac going to miss his touch in the corner. Scraps puts it down. Q's there, missing the pass to the mid. Mango's up and gets the touch, hit the ball into his corner. Q gets it out into the midfield, but Isaac just takes it away from him. Isaac with it gets a second touch, but Mango patiently waits and is able to hit it away. Fakey to keep the pressure alive for Flame here. Cool Kyle trying to get a shot on net. Scrap's going to get in front of it though. Isaac coming out of the corner. Isaac with a touchdown. Fakey's there, but Mango is as well. Mango sends it out. Mango can't get the full clear though, and Fakey gonna try and do a little fake, but Scraps is not faked out. Scraps trying to get it out. Isaac still with the pressure. Flame so far, Puggles has been, I would say, controlling all the pressure, especially considering Papayas only has 1 shot on the board.
Yeah, absolutely. They only seem to be able to break out, get 1 play, and then immediately gets the ball boomed back into their own half. We just saw that happen right as I was calling it out. So amazing show and tell case there. But you're right. Flame has all of the pressure. They're really dictating the pace of the game right now, controlling it when they want to, and being able to clear the ball at will, where this Papaya team is really struggling to really get consecutive touches.
And that is not going to play out well for them if they don't figure it out soon. As we reach the halfway point of game number 1 in this best of 5 series, Papaya's trailing by 1. Not a huge deficit, but it is enough to lose the game, especially with the way Flame has been playing defensively so far. Scraps with the send out. Isaac just going to get the touch out to the corner. Q's there with the shot, but Cool Kyle gets in front of it, makes the save on the goal line. The ball's going to get cleared out. Mango's trying to keep the pressure up for Papayas. Q is there, tries to get the shot on, does get the shot on, but it gets blocked out by the defender. Isaac going to get a soft touch, leave the ball, get a demo. Turns out to be a double demo. Fakey going for the fake. Not going to get it, though, as Scraps comes in with the 52 minutes left on the clock now. And we still have the same scoreline here, Puggles. But Q looking to change that up. Gonna miss an open net there, though. I gotta wonder what's going on with the Papayas here.
You know, we kind of just saw it there. They get these counter-attacking chances, and then they're just not able to capitalize. And as I'm saying that, Fakey, he's gonna get a little bit of a fluke goal here. It's just gonna roll down in front of him, and nobody on the Papayas was quite ready for that.
Yeah, Q almost getting that save right there. Just if he had just done his backflip an inch before he did it, he would have got that save. But no dice for the Papayas as they go down by 2 in this game number 1. Cool Kyle with a big bump there. Isaac sending it out. There was a double demo, but Cool Kyle gonna miss the empty net. Not that he needed it, Puggles, but not a good look.
No, not at all. He just had to wait maybe another second or two, and he had a free goal, but he tried to rush it a little bit. Maybe was being told that someone was on him. So hopefully that doesn't come back to bite him here in this game.
Hopefully not. 1:10 left on the clock. Still plenty of time. Q almost starting the comeback for the Papayas. Still plenty of time on the clock for 2 goals to get scored. The Papayas starting to generate a little bit more offense here in the latter part of this game. We'll see if they can turn that into at least 1 conversion, if not 2, to tie it up and send this game number 1 into overtime. Final 45 seconds tick down. Cool Kyle pops it up in the midfield. Cool Kyle's there for the follow, looking for the double, but Scraps off the backboard going to stop his offensive advance. And looks like a little bit of a communication error comes out for Flame. They pinch the ball across, send it back defensively. Mango's out to the middle. Scraps is there, can't find it, but I'm not sure. It looks like an own goal comes out there.
You know, it might have gone in either way. It looks like it was going to go either way. Isaac trying to get a touch to save it away, but he's not able to get enough. And 22 seconds here, Psycho. I think I still believe in this Papayas team.
Well, that's definitely possible. They're going to have to turn on the afterburners and get to it right here, right now. They don't have any time to waste. But a goal can be scored in several seconds in this game. And we might see it right here as Mangos gets the cross, but nobody there to find the pass. Isaac only has to just wind down the time. He sends that ball down, and Fakey's there, puts it towards the net, but it's going to hit the ground, and Flame is going to be your victors in game number 1.
Yeah, great play from Flame all around. You know, controlling the game super early, not giving Papayas any time at all until probably the last minute or so when they found their only goal. And now, if you're Papayas or a Papayas fan, you take what you did in that last minute, and you just got to do it for 5 full minutes. And I think they got a pretty good recipe to win this next game.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree with that. They definitely started to pick it up there at the end of that game. Hopefully, they're able to carry that momentum in and pick up the pieces and see where they can find themselves in game number 2. I can guarantee you they don't want to go down by 2 in this series against this Flame roster, because it seems like the Flame roster came in hot and they haven't cooled down yet, Puggles.
No, absolutely. They were ready and waiting. Before my game, actually, I ran into these guys in ranked, and let me just say, it did not go well for us. So You know, these guys definitely warmed up. They've been getting ready for quite some time now.
Yeah, I imagine. You know, I know some of these guys just when they're getting ready, they get fired up, they get pumped up, and sounds like that's what you ran into. A Flame roster that was fired up. Fakey taking a shot. Fikey taking the shot, but it's gonna hit the post there. Q to send it out. Cool Kyle with the touch around Scraps. Mango out of the corner. Mango gets the touch, but Fakey's there in the middle waiting. Fakey trying to get a flick, and Isaac is just there in time to put it in the back of the net. Flame now up by 1.
Yeah, it looks like the Papayas team left one of their guys on defense. He couldn't quite hold it down. Q rushing to get back, couldn't quite get the touch there to keep it out. And, you know, this happened in the first game. Flame go up early.
Yes, they do. And if that spelling out anything or foreshadowing anything, then I feel bad for the Papayas because they might be looking at their very first loss of the season here. Though it's definitely too early to make the call, as they have not only plenty of time in this particular game, but they could always bust out the reverse sweep, assuming they go down 2-0 here. But I know that Scraps is not interested in that, trying to put a long ball on, but it's going to hit the post. The ball gets pinched back out. Isaac's just there in the mid. Isaac follows, gets the touch, but Mangoes is going to follow his 2 and pop it up. Fakey with the shot. Q is there. The double commit from Papayas, but luckily they're able to recover. Mangoes to send it down. Mangoes still following, putting it towards the net, looking for a teammate. Scraps is there, but Fakey's going to beat him out. And as we get down to the final 3 minutes here, Puggles, and we're seeing a very similar game. Isaac looking for the double or maybe the triple. I'm not sure you would call that, but yeah, I feel like we're seeing a very, very similar game here. Flame going up by 1 and then just sort of holding it as Papayas attempt to get some sort of offensive pressure. Oh my, Isaac is toxic.
A big double demo as you're concluding there, but honestly, I'd have to disagree a little bit here. I think Papayas is getting out of their half a little bit more often. Flame just really doesn't seem to be suffocating them as much as they were in the first game. Now, is it good for Papayas? No, they still need to get out. But I would say this is definitely a step up from the last game.
Sure, yeah, I agree. They're definitely doing better than they did in game 1. Hopefully they'll be able to do something, because doing better at this point is not going to do anything for them if they lose. Scraps trying to get a shot on, does get a shot on, but Fakey with the save there from his air dribble. Isaac is up, gets the block. Fakey's there, but can't make the touch. Scraps to send it out. Cool Kyle with a ball, but he puts it up. Few there to knock it away. Scraps with the clear, trying to get a pass play there in the midfield, but the ball gets overturned to Flame. And Mango with the pinch. This could be dangerous for Flame. Oh, Mango's going to miss his shot. It's going to bounce off of the post, and that is absolutely demoralizing, Puggles.
It is, but it's still not out of harm's way here, Psycho. I don't know if you could still see it, but it's just floating in the front here. Nobody from Flame wanting to touch this ball. And Fakey, he got a little caught up on the post there. Not really what you want to see.
Yeah, it looked like they got that ball cleared all the way out to me. I didn't see the Papayas offense there keeping the pressure alive. They did a good job, though, right there. Tied it up and looking to maybe do something else here as Q is going to intercept the pass and put the shot on the net, taking the lead for the Papayas 2-1.
Yeah, absolutely. But the biggest thing for me was Mango's dunk onto that Flame defender. Everyone on Flame thought he had a free touch, and Mango's jumping over one to get a touch past the other. Big setup there from Mango.
Quite the play coming out from Papayas. Scraps to put it down. Isaac putting it back towards the net. Q gotta get the clear out. Cool Kyle, though, keeping the pressure alive, keeping Flame in the Papayas defensive zone. As the ball's up, Isaac just gonna miss his touch. Scraps is there. He has to 50 with Kyle. Mangoes to put that one towards the mid. Fakey with the touch. Isaac off the backboard. Q there for the clear. 1 minute remaining here on the clock. Fakey with a big save, getting his savior medal. Up to Cool Kyle. The double commit from Flame as the ball floats out to the mid. Mangos is there. Puts it down. Gets the dunk on Isaac, but it's still in Isaac's possession. To Q takes it to send it out. Gets the shot on net, but Fakey makes the save in the final 30 seconds here. Isaac gonna tie us up. Oh my gosh. That was a disaster, Puggles.
Oh, he had it. I don't even know what to say anymore. That should have been a goal for Isaac, but they still got 20 seconds here. I think they could still pull this game off.
That is a massive feels bad man moment right there as Isaac just narrowly missing it. That was just gonna go in, but Mango's with a big touch on the defensive line to make the stop there, secure this win for the Papayas, as Papayas gonna take game number 2 and tie this series up, sending us into game number 3.
Yeah, maybe should not have won that in regulation. I think Isaac puts that away, 99 out of 100 times, but yeah, that's just a little unlucky for Isaac there. It's a little weird how that happened. So I think Papayas did much better. They had more pressure, and I'm just in distraught here. I need help.
Yeah, I don't blame you. After that, what just happened to Isaac, I kind of want to quit everything. I just kind of want to uninstall the game, leave the Discord server.
Yep.
This is terrible. My day is ruined.
Exactly.
And yeah, I don't know what to say here, Puggles, but I guess moving into game number 3 here, hopefully Isaac doesn't feel the same way we feel. Hopefully he was able to shrug off the situation, play it cool, let it roll off his back, and not let it mess up his mental here, because game number 3 is going to be one of the more important games here tonight for these two teams, as the winner of this game is going to move into a match point position for the series. Mangoes trying to get the clear. Oh, I'm sorry. What's up?
You're good. You're good. Keep going.
No, dude, what were you about to say?
No, I was just saying you're right there, and just to remind everyone, in case they aren't aware or this is their first time watching, we do best of 5s here. We don't do best of 7s for playoffs.
Playoffs only. And my apologies there, Puggles. I think that I'm a little bit under the weather, kind of fighting off something, so I think the pause was me trying to clear out my throat, and so that's my apologies there.
No, you're perfectly fine. This happened to me the last time I did this, so.
It's all good. But a minute gone now from the clock, and neither team able to find the back of the net here. Papayas carrying a lot of good momentum, defensively at least, in from their last game. They have yet, actually that was their first shot on net right there, but it was deflected by the Flame defense. But they have been strong in their own defensive zone, already putting away 4 saves. But that is not that's not boding well for them, as that means that the Flame offense has been stepping things up since the last game. And Fakey there with the shot. As I say it, they go ahead and make it happen.
Yeah, big start here from Fakey. Once again, I think he's scored first in every game so far. But now for Flame, you got to either hold it or keep suffocating like they did in the first game.
Honestly, I expect to see that sort of suffocation come out, because we know this team can do it. And I'm interested to see if Papayas are going to be able to hold out here, if they're going to be able to find the breathing pockets, the air pockets, and make something happen off the mistakes, as Mangoes goes for the solo play, but can't get it past Isaac. Isaac going to pinch it through Q. Cool Kyle's there, gets the touch, puts it back to the mid. Fakey is there, but his shot is going to go wide. The ball gets pinched back to the mid. This is dangerous. Cool Kyle missing his shot. The ball is floating in the Papayas defensive zone. Mangoes trying to get a clear. Isaac putting it back towards the net. Q is there. Q to get it away, but it gets pinched back towards the Papayas net once again. Papayas finally able to clear that away as we reach the halfway point of game number 3 here, Puggles. And Flame still up by 1, and I mean, Papayas still only have 2 shots.
Yeah, this has kind of been the story the entire time, is that Papayas really are just a later half team. And we really need to see him step up now as we enter that later half and get some more offensive going.
We'll see if they're able to do that. Mango's been attempting a couple of solo plays so far this game, none of them having worked out for him yet. But I know if that man tries long enough on a solo play, he will get it, as he is one of the more mechanically recognized players, at least in the Challenger League, if not in the league itself. As the ball gets sent down, Mangos gets popped off. Q's there. He's going to find the 50 with Cool Kyle to deflect the shot. The ball's in the mid. The double commit coming out from the Papayas. Scraps getting the 50 against Cool Kyle, and Mangos coming in there as well, getting the pinch into the net with 1 minute and 25 seconds left on the clock. I don't know. Oh, never mind.
No.
I was about to say, I don't know if it's possible, but Q is just going to hit a snipe shot out of nowhere.
An absolute banger, getting it over Isaac and Fakey. He just gets caught a little bit in no man's land. He either needs to jump or hurry back, and he chose the wrong one in my decision. I think he should have jumped there, but now, you know, you just gotta win out this game. Like you said, this is gonna put you up on match point. This next goal is super important.
This is a big one. And with just 1 minute left on the clock, you know these players got to be feeling the tension right here, right now. And we're seeing it as the Papayas are starting to double commit a little bit more. Scraps coming in and just taking the shot away from Q there. But it worked out, or it didn't work out, but it worked out for them and not getting counterattacked by Flame. And Mangos is there off the corner, finds the second touch, but can't get it placed right. And Q gonna touch the clear from Flame. Q there with it again, but missing his touch, and that was dangerous for Flame. Isaac barely just able to get back in the final 30 seconds. We are still tied up right here, and we'll see if either of these teams are able to make the game-winning goal in the final seconds here, if we're gonna see yet another overtime here in game number 3. Fakey missing his touch, maybe getting the fake, but Mango there puts it down in the mid. The ball gets pinched. It's back in the mid. Isaac just up, puts a touch on it. Mangoes to send it away, just looking to put it down, moving into overtime for game number 3 here, Puggles. Who do you think has the advantage?
You know what? As of right now, I think the advantage goes to Papayas. They've been holding off this Flame defense that's just been absolutely electric, and then finding great counterattack opportunities. I say if they can get it out a few times, they're definitely going to find a goal.
They have been playing insane defense with 6 saves to the Papayas' name right now. Q with the shot, but it's not going to go. Cool Kyle able to make the save. And we're seeing yet another double commit. I think that's like the 4th or the 5th one, Puggles, that I've seen from the Papayas in the last minute and 30 seconds. That's kind of scary if you ask me.
No, you're right. You really can't be double committing, especially in an important overtime like this. And, you know, as we see Q get erased, you know, those double commits are just killing these guys' offensive possession. Because when both of them go, the third guy has to stay back and he can't really commit to a net or to a shot.
Exactly. And that is what the Papayas are dealing with right now. But the Papayas defensively are just unstoppable at this point, and Flame, just no matter what they do, cannot find the back of their net. So it's going to come down to the Papayas making a mistake defensively, or the Papayas finally getting their offensive push together and doing what we saw them do in game number 2. But Isaac's there. He's going to take advantage of the mistouch from the Papayas defense. And there you have it. Game 3 going to go to Flame, and they are now sitting on match point for the series.
Yeah, you're right. A great thing there from Isaac, but a big props there to Fakey. He's able to get the demo onto the third guy, and Isaac just has to walk it into the net. Great demo there from Fakey to open up for Isaac.
Yeah, you love to see the heads-up play there, especially coming from someone like Fakey. Fakey being the lowest MMR on the Flame roster, obviously that doesn't mean much of anything, to be honest. MMR is just a number. It's just a round figure showing basically where you are at skill level. So, you know, but I would say Fakey has probably been the most consistent player on Flame this series.
Yeah, you're right. You know, with Cool Kyle coming in and out of conversation, Fakey has been in there the entire time, opening up every game for his team, and then just finding these outstanding plays where he's gonna go up and demo the last guy to open it up for his teammates. Just great plays all around from Fakey.
And moving into game number 4, Flame up by 2 in the series, 2-1. They only need this last win to take home the dub here against the Papayas and give the Papayas their first loss of Season 7. Will they be able to do it? Or will Papayas clutch up and win these next 2 games in a row? I have to be here to see it as Isaac gets a touch, but not what he's looking for. Q to send that one across. Mango trying to follow, but Isaac gonna dust him to the ball. Cool Kyle getting one past the defense, and Scraps just too awkward to make the stop there. Flame once again goes up by 1.
Yeah, and Cool Kyle, a huge read off the wall. Q and Scraps both not in the position to stop it. Big opening here from Cool Kyle.
Yeah, that is exactly what you want if you're Flame. That is exactly what you need. You need that momentum to gain the control of the pace here in game number 4. This is the most important game aside from game number 5 for them to win, but they will not get a game number 5 if they don't win here, right now. Scraps is going to pop it up. Scraps trying to follow, but Cool Kyle going to beat him out to the ball. Cool Kyle looking for a second touch. No, he goes for the bump instead. Isaac pops it up. Fakey's there, and what a play from Flame. Holy, they get all 3 on it.
Wow, a huge bump there from Cool Kyle, sending Q into the world's worst spot to make a defensive play. And, you know, it's just Isaac to Fakey and into the back of the net. An outstanding play, as you said.
Yeah, you love to see it. That's great content right there.
No.
Oh, this is not looking good. Cool Kyle going to take advantage of the situation. And now Flame have a 3-point lead.
Yeah, not really what you want to see. Another kickoff goal after giving up just that outstanding play. And now you got 4 minutes left. The series is on the line here. We got to see some life here from Papayas soon.
Yes, we certainly do. And it looked like all 3 of them came in there. I know I saw at least 2. I wasn't sure if the third one was there, but that was a dangerous situation for the Papayas, going all in on offense there. Luckily for them, they did not get counterattacked. And we'll see what they're able to do here as Q is going to 50 the ball. It gets pinched all the way across. Scraps there trying to get it away from Isaac. Isaac sends it down. Mangoes with the defensive touch. He's patient on defense, but he misses his second touch off of the wall. Cool Kyle getting it past 2 defenders. Q able to turn back on it and get it away from his net. Q still with the follow, finds the touch, but doesn't have enough juice to get back up to it. And it's going to get cleared out. Mango's missing his touch. And nobody back from Papayas. Not sure what happened there, but it wasn't good, Puggles.
No, it really wasn't. It looks like the guy rotating back got a little in the way of Isaac, who just landed, so nobody was able to get back fast enough. And now, you know, this you got 3 minutes to get 4 goals to send it to OT. It's not looking great, but you know, I think Papayas can at least get 1 here to bring it closer.
Yeah, and I mean, certainly not impossible. Mango's been playing Papayas have been playing a decent series. They've taken at least 1 goal, or taken at least 1 win, so we know they can get another one, though. As you said, that 4-0 deficit, that is a pretty steep hill to climb, but Q is ready to start his climb right here, right now, and gets a great pass from Scraps there.
Yeah, a great pass there and a great read from Q, as nobody from Flame was ready for that. And now, you know, like you said, they're starting to climb back. They have half the game left to get 3 goals.
I think that they can do it. If they are able to pull together, cross their T's and dot their I's. find some more of those beautiful pass plays. I know that they're capable of it. You're not a 4-0 team in the Challenger League just off of, solo plays. There ain't no way. But we see more of those pass plays coming out. We may see a smaller margin in the goal line here. Isaac going to get that touch and get it cleared out. Scraps going to have to 50 with him. Scraps sticking with the ball, confusing Q a little bit there, but Mango's able to take control. Mango's pops it out. Fakey is there for the shot. Fakey to bring it back to the mid. Isaac just gonna get a double. No, it's gonna go out. Oh my gosh, again. How does this keep happening? Puggles.
I'm not sure. I don't know how you can do that twice in a row. First to Isaac, and now to Cool Kyle. You really hate to see it, but it didn't hurt them last time, so maybe it won't hurt them this time. That's my theory.
Yeah, and I mean it didn't seem to hurt them. They didn't get scored on, so that's good for them. There's a lot of demos coming out right here, but nobody able to make a conversion. Isaac is there. Isaac trying to get it past the last defender, but Q makes a good save. Q with the shot. Nobody from Flame back. Cuts the deficit in half, and Papayas might be back in this game.
Like I said, they're a second half team. They're going to come back, but now you really, like you said before, turn on the afterburners and get these 2 goals early.
That would be in their best interest to get at least 1 goal as quickly as possible. If not, 2 rapid goals would be ideal. And the demo comes out from Isaac. And nobody back from Papayas, but Cool Kyle not going to get to the shot in time. The shot's going to bounce off the wall. Q with a good bump on the Flame offender there, not allowing him to stick with the ball. Scraps is there. Scraps putting it off the backboard. Cool Kyle there to clear, though. Mango putting a shot on. It's going to hit the post. Ball gets pinched all the way back down. Papayas defensive zone. Q with the clear off the backboard. Mango looking for the pass, but couldn't find it in the last 20 seconds. Wind down. Q with the big save on the goal line. Cool Kyle just trying to toss it back up at the net. Flame doing nothing but wasting time at this point. They only have to just let the ball float in the air and let the ball touch. And Flame is going to be your winners here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. They're going to take this best-of-5 series in a 3-1 fashion, and they're going to hand Papayas their very first L of the season. Congratulations to Flame for that.
Yeah, absolutely. And now, if you're Papayas, a few things to work on. Obviously, the double commits really hurt them there. And, for Flame, they're doing so well right now without Local. Like we said at the top of the broadcast, their best player. So, they're just continuing their streak of dominating performance after dominating performance. So, both of these teams are in the same division. So it's going to be a tight race for that number 1 spot come playoffs.
Yeah, and that was a huge win for Flame right there. Flame really pulling out the stops there in game number 5. Just looking at the scoreboard briefly, I think Flame only had to make 2 saves that entire match, so that was pretty good. We saw them suffocate Papayas pretty much through the whole thing. Game 2, Papayas were really able to bring it back, get the W in game number 2, and I feel like in Puggles in game number 3, Papayas were still very much alive.
Yeah, absolutely. It really just went downhill in this series when they gave up the 4 goals early in the first minute and a half of game 4. That was pretty much when, at least in a lot of people's minds, that's when the series was sealed.
Yeah, that was a huge rip moment. It's quite unfortunate, but it is what it is. It worked out how it worked out. Flame got the dub, handed the first L to Papayas for their season 7 record. It's got to be feeling good for Flame right there. And that is going to wrap us up, ladies and gentlemen. That does it for our broadcast this evening. That is all 3 matches that we've got lined up for you. Highly appreciate everybody coming out and supporting the channel. Wednesday, we'll be back with 3 more matches as usual. Puggles, I appreciate you joining me up in the booth. It's been a minute since we've casted together. I missed you.
Yeah, it has been a minute. These games, they're really taxing me right now. So it was an honor and always a pleasure to cast with you, Psycho. Can't wait for our next one.
Always a pleasure. Yes, indeed, sir. Ladies and gentlemen at home, thank you again for coming out and enjoying some Rocket League action with us tonight. If you are in the crowd and you are not in the Discord, you're not part of Nemesis, head on over to our Discord, get hooked up, get in the free agency. Teams change around their rosters all the time. You can get on a roster, you can get on a stream match, get casted, all this great stuff. Thank you once again, ladies and gentlemen, and we will see y'all Wednesday evening for 3 more bangers.